What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You notice anything different? Look at all that wheel travel. No, we didn't get smaller tires. We're still on the 40s with the KG1 forged, but we cut the fenders, the liners, and everything in between. So stay tuned to see how we did it. What's up, guys? If you haven't already, definitely check out the links in the description below. We've got lots of cool discount links, discount codes for a lot of awesome companies. I'll leave you to the rest of this video, guys, and thanks for watching. Before I mess with anything, I just want to do a video of what the wheel well liners look like before I mess with them. This is the rear passenger, obviously. Front passenger. Push pin over there. Looks like some push pins here. This one looks a little scarier to deal with. I'm going to do the rear first, just to take it off and see what it looks like. The rear doesn't scare me as much as the front. Front driver. And rear driver. Thinking about cutting out just along that seam there. I would have to do like a cut, and then follow it down type thing. Come down like this, but then the front, I would almost need to chop some of the bumper away to get it to line up, but it wouldn't look that bad if it was, yeah, it wouldn't look that bad. You found what?
I found DEVOS bags.
You did?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Chico.
Hi. Now I have to get a boa and eat them.
What do you mean, eat them?
No, I mean feed them.
Feed them, okay, yeah, you don't want to eat the bows, dude. Crazy. All right, so I just pulled the monster wheel well liner off. Lucky for me, there was a disconnect for the rock light, so I didn't have to cut that or anything. So the front definitely looks unfinished here, for sure. But the rear has this plastic guy here that I'm gonna have to probably pull off and see what's behind there. But it looks like in the front, we should be able to trim some of this, but I'm probably gonna have to cut all this off. Reggie, keep looking for the bow. Don't give up. Do not give up. Go now and look for the bow. I could trim to here, cut that, and then cut that off, but then where would all these, well, I guess this wouldn't need to secure anywhere, I guess, because I'd be chopping it off. I wonder how this would secure. Oh, I guess it would stay with the pins that are in there. But how would I secure the wheel well liner to this if I cut it? I don't know. That is the $1 million question. If I chop all this off down to here, then how is the wheel well liner going to secure other than the push pins up there, which I've broken 2 out of 3. Yeah, I don't know. And then one there and one there, I guess. We'll see. All right, so I just removed this one bolt here, and this whole thing looks like it's ready to come out. Yep, look at that. Yep, okay. I'm gonna see what else is down here. If anything, there might be something else keeping it on there somehow. Yes, there is a small 7mm looking like bolt right there. So I'll remove that. All right, so see the big liner there?
Oh yeah.
So I've pulled everything out of.
How'd you get that out?
Just some bolts.
Oh.
Yeah. Pulled everything out here. Yeah. Put your helmet on, check your tires. All right, so now we could cut down the seam, and then I would have to cut into some of this if we wanted to follow it along. And how we would bolt anything back up if that's been cut, I don't know. But we wouldn't want to go all the way down the seam because we want to be able to reinstall that plastic piece here, which uses that and that. So maybe it would come down, yeah. Cut a little less than full. And then, wow, look at all that mud. Imagine if I had no wheel well liner back here, how much mud there would be. This is wild. See everything in here. And then, over here, love you. I'd have to cut to like there. I wouldn't want to cut any more than that. Yeah. Maybe we could do it. I'd have to cut all the sheet metal off. Yeah, all that sheet metal all the way up to here. I don't know how that's gonna look. I don't know. Well, I definitely have passed the point of no return now. I started to chop with some snips and then broke out the cutoff wheel, and it's obviously not pretty, but it's pretty even actually. Follows the line pretty good. I didn't tape it or mark it or anything. I just kind of eyeballed it. So good thing about this is once this is removed, I should be able to put a weather strip on once I clean it up, and that will hopefully hide imperfections and stuff. But the next step is going to be to finish cutting this plastic, and then I'm gonna have to cut the metal behind it. It's gonna be hard because there's all sorts of things and doohickeys up here and whatnot that are gonna kind of get in the way. So I'm hoping after all this is said and done, the fender is still somewhat secure, because if it's not, then I'm kind of toast. And then, yeah, we'll keep moving. All right, so there is the piece I cut. And it's not perfectly even, but as I pull off some of this stuff, I can clean it up a little bit. But I'm concerned that these tabs here are like the only thing holding the thing in. So if I cut all of this metal off, what is going to hold the fender in place is the $1,000,000 question. I don't know. Here.
All right, there we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm almost done cutting the, it's all metal here. You're gonna step on metal filings. I cut all the plastic, now I'm cutting the metal. See the metal right there, how it's cut?
Yeah. Why'd you do that?
Because I'm making more room for the tire.
Oh, okay.
So I'm here, and I just gotta go to here, and then the whole metal thing will fall down, and then we can see what it looks like, okay?
Okay.
So record for me. Back up
Okay.
just a little bit. You record like from over here, you know?
Yeah.
Actually, come over here.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think my blade's long enough to get through there. All right, come around to this side. Oh, man.
Nope.
Just cut right through the tab. I don't even know. All right, come back to that side.
All right.
I'm almost done here. go. Two more inches. Oh, quarter inch. You ready?
Yep.
The whole thing's about to drop. You ready?
Yep.
What's up, guys? If you find this video helpful in any way, go ahead and mash that Chuck Norris button for us. Huh?
That's good job.
What do you think?
Looks.
Oh, let me cut this little thing here. Oh my goodness.
Might want like some
Look at that.
final touch-ups on that.
You think?
Like,
Yeah. I think. Are you still recording? I think it needs some final touch-ups.
maybe
for sure.
some pink spray paint or something.
Pink spray paint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, the fender's still on there though. I don't know how. I was
can't
worried about it
walk
falling
over
off since I
there.
had to cut the tabs off. You know?
Yeah.
Like right here. I just went right through it. No, but Chan, imagine, okay? This smoothed out, right?
Yep.
So there's not like
Those little metal files
burrs
on
and
it.
debris and all that. And then a piece of weather stripping on there. Like a piece of rubber weather stripping to hold it together so it looks nice and clean.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Hey man, that doesn't look too bad. Huh?
What do you have to say? There's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's only one. And it's not even done, and I have to still figure out how I'm gonna put the wheel well liner back in there.
Yeah.
But we just got an extra, like, that much material off, like 1.25 inches of clearance.
Something's leaking.
Yeah. Looks like it's leaking into my box, too. Oh, dude, it's all... Yeah, what in the world is leaking, Chan?
I don't know.
Thank you for pointing that out. Everything, all my hardware is in water. Submerged, okay. All right, so now I just chopped off a little bit of material there. Wanted to leave a little bit of material for the holes. And then I just chopped a little bit here just to kind of even it up a little bit. All right, so I put this back on and trimmed it to be flush roughly with that. Now I need to do the same thing for this side, and just notice that I'm missing quite a few of these little rectangle bobbers here to help secure it up into the body there. So I'm going to probably order some of these. They look like 1-inch rectangle push pin guys. I don't really know what to look for, but I'm gonna retrofit it up there and then chop it along. Let me see if I zoom out. Right along here, all the way down. All right, so about 3 hours of work, and this side is basically done. I don't have trim for this. I haven't sanded this down yet, but it's basically done. I thought I would maybe be able to finagle the old wheel liner in here, but let's see if I can. It's definitely not gonna happen. So what I did was I ended up cutting a little more of this off, just kind of round that off there, rounded this off here. Maybe I'll take this video again in the morning, but yeah, and so that is basically what it's gonna look like. I gotta figure out what to do with that rock light. I mean, that's the least of my concerns, but I'll just zip tie it somewhere until I figure out whether I'm gonna move the rock lights over or what. Definitely more industrial looking in here without the wheel well liner. I did pull off the little clips, little sheet metal clip guys that go into these holes so that they weren't rattling since there was nothing connected to them. But yeah, it looks pretty good, especially if you're not looking super close. Let's see, we can measure. I don't have a tape measure. Well, you can see. This is like, I don't know, 4 fingers plus a little bit on the passenger. And then we'll cut to the driver. Much bigger. Yeah, it's almost like, it almost looks too big now. So yeah, you can see where I cut. I just followed the line, little groove, little mold there, and was able to skirt right around this barely. Almost took that thing out. See, it's right there. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good, especially if you're not looking close. So I just need to figure out what type of molding I can put on. It's gonna be harder because I wanna just do the plastic part, but it's gonna be hard to get molding on there because I can't really push it on anything. And then if you follow it up to up here, it's gonna be impossible to get anything here unless I cut it and start it over right there, which would look absolutely ridiculous. There's no lip, you know, right here to do. So then I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll do the whole metal. So I'll just do the metal and the plastic. And then how am I gonna do that here? So there's really not a good solution other than cutting more or cutting less. Maybe a 1/4 inch less would have been the move. So I had a little bit of material below these clips and stuff, but what's done is done now. So yeah, but bright side is these little trim are actually more on there than they were before. So, and I think they look pretty good. I just eyeballed it. I think they kind of flow down pretty good. Not perfect, but not bad for a first attempt with just eyeballing. So yeah, just got to get around the wheel well liner removal look. It's going to be kind of tough. I think I could get away with no trim, no molding or anything like that. I think I could just smooth it out a little bit and you know, live with that. But I don't think I could live with forever with the wheel well liner removed, at least in the front. I think the front's going to be rough without it, but maybe I can cut it and just use, I just want to prevent the mud from splashing up to the engine, so maybe I could just use like a top part. I don't know. I'm going to work on the other back one and then figure out the fronts. But yeah, that's what it looks like for now. All right, here we are. We have one corner done. About 3 hours yesterday, another hour today. It is trimmed up. It's not perfect, but it is trimmed up. The metal is trimmed behind the plastic for the most part. A couple little goobers, but I'm gonna get a rubber trim to go over that to make everything look nice and clean, hopefully. And then as far as the inside here, the best thing I can think of is I cleaned it all out because there was still mud and stuff everywhere. Hello, Tinkle. Okay. Reed, you gonna go tinkle? All right. And I'm going to dry everything out, and then I'm going to hit it with some bed liner spray on the inside here so it's not so industrial looking and gives it a little bit of protection from rocks and things that bounce up and hit it, because now we're straight body now, and maybe the spray will actually reduce the road noise, since I imagine that wheel well liner was probably keeping a little bit of the road noise out. But either way, I'm going to spray all up in here, get a couple cans of bed liner spray, and do that. And so now I'm going to move on to the passenger side. What in the world are you doing? Or the driver's side, excuse me. And I'm gonna start removing the wheel well liner and start the whole process over again. So I wish it was only one time because I actually feel pretty good about this one, but man, it was a lot of work. All right, so the rears are done. When I say done, I mean still need to clean them up, put some spray paint on the ends, and put some door trim of some kind, but the cutting should be done. Cut this guy, nice round, pretty round here. Followed the seam of the fender all the way down, even did the lower molding guy. Like I said, it's not perfect, but hopefully with some window trim, it will hide imperfections. And definitely had some issues up here with the these tabs here, because these tabs obviously hold the fender in, so I wanted to preserve them, and I did on the passenger side. But on the driver side, it was a little bit more. I preserved 2 out of 3, I guess, so not too bad. Here's a look from far. This guy's also kind of a pain because you kind of got to go around him. This little light guy here. But the rear, or the trim up here, I preserved. This one I think I lost, or no, this one I lost. Yeah, these two I preserved half of the clip. So yep, gotta clean this up. I just sprayed it all out. I'm gonna clean it up, spray paint it. I'm probably gonna paint just all like the grayish, whatever you want to call this here, just so that it looks more finished, because having the regular sheet metal color or whatever plus this, you know, nonsense, it looks kind of too industrial. Ideally, I'd like to have some sort of wheel well liner, but that's kind of down the road. Maybe I'll fab something up using sheet metal or styrofoam or newspapers, or who knows, I don't know, something to keep the mud out from getting in there. I sprayed it all out. You can see it's ridiculous, so I can't imagine how bad it's going to be when I have no wheel well liner. So yep, that's the backs. A little look from here, you can see there's a little imperfection there. You know, it's not perfect, but I think with the window trim it will look halfway decent. Subscribe for more of this. All right, before I go ahead and start removing stuff, I just want to create a baseline for what this looks like here. So I've got this little panel here that I kind of fabbed up out of the existing original one to kind of keep some of the mud from going up into the engine. I'm gonna have to see how it's gonna be all wide open. And then I've got this guy, I don't know what goes there, something maybe. Okay. Man, I really hope I'm able to find a way to preserve the heat, the wheel well liner just in this area to keep the mud from going into the engine. All right, let's see what this looks like. I'm gonna have to probably cut this guy right off. There's 2 bolts there, so hopefully whatever that's doing, one is enough. And then I'm probably gonna have to cut more of this guy here. This is kind of thin, so maybe I'll just pull it out completely and just chop this off. I don't know. That's kind of the mystery for the back here. And then if I'm gonna do like the rear, I'm gonna cut all the way down, and then that will prevent this from doing anything because it won't be bolted to anything. So figure out how I'm gonna secure that. And then if I'm following it perfectly, I should technically cut a tiny bit off of this, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I'd like to try and keep that. But this has gotta go, and I think I'm actually rubbing right there. So I'm gonna have to take this off and chop some of that off. And then on the passenger side, this is even worse. It looks like we are rubbing still at full stuff here because it's rusting a little bit. And then here, so I'll have to chop some of that off. And then remove the wheel well liner. You can see it looks like I'm rubbing here, all this. That won't be a problem once the wheel well liner is removed. And then it looks like I might be rubbing here, which I don't know how that's gonna go because it feels like the fender's there, so I might be rubbing the fender. And then maybe a little here, here. And then there's this bodyguard front bumper here. I still have trimmed a ton off. I'm obviously gonna have to trim some more there, here. Ooh, I'm actually gonna have to trim some of that. Oh man. Oh, actually no, because if I cut this there, it's not gonna be an issue. But it's gonna look even worse on this side, I think. So if I cut this down to here, and then I have all that bumper kind of sticking out, it's gonna look kind of, I don't know. If we want to match the rear, we're gonna have to cut the front. So we'll see. All right, so I've got the wheel well liner off, as you can see, and this is a cluster. This is not something I want to leave like this. So I don't know what I'm gonna do at this point, but I absolutely need to have some kind of wheel well liner for at least the top part. So maybe I can fab something up to just go from here to there, but I can't leave this exposed. The second I hit a couple mud puddles, my engine's probably gonna like hydrolock. So yeah, so we're kind of at a standstill right now until I figure that part out. Here's what I'm doing. I have trimmed the wheel well liner so that it no longer connects to this, since I'm going to be cutting this. There's no getting around that. But I want to secure at least this part of the wheel well liner so that it prevents the all the mud from spraying directly into the engine. So what I've done is I have added larger fender washers to these 3 bolts here, since it has the room for it. And then I have drilled a hole here and a hole in the frame there. See where right there. And so my plan is I'm gonna put a bolt there, and I will secure that to the frame. And then I need to figure out where else I need to secure. But for now, I'm gonna put a bolt through there, and I can access the nut, obviously, since there's a rectangle cut out. And then once that's secure, I'm gonna figure out where else I need to secure. But my plan is I'm probably gonna cut just straight up like this, something like that. And I've got one spot here that I can secure with a push pin or, you know, something like that. So that'll hold that. And then I'll probably, like I said, probably trim all this off. We'll see. All right, I was gonna cut more of it off, but I found this nice little hole on the back side of the front of the fender. So I just figured out where it was, drilled a hole there so I can put a bolt through here and secure it on the back side with a nut. Now we'll keep that like that. And then we will see if we need any more bolts anywhere, or if we can just go ahead and just trim all that off. All right, so I've got a bolt, just one thread on there. So now this is nice and solid. Solid all here, solid there. And I don't have a zip tie here, I didn't put a bolt yet. Might put one more bolt, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I'm cutting all that, or what am I doing with that? Yeah, I guess kind of am cutting. I don't have to though. Maybe if I can put one more bolt. No, I can't really get a hole in there. Maybe one more. That's plastic. So maybe, you know what? Maybe, let's see. I don't know. I'd like to raise this up a little bit, but it'll be kind of hard to do that with the frame there. Oh, we'll figure it out. I could just chop all this off, this whole thing, and then just put one bolt in through the crash bar there, right there, and then it'll be good. All right, I got surprised by a little hole for a push pin. This is not a very good one, but gets the job done for now. Right there. So all I really need is, I'm gonna do a little more cutting up there since it's really not needed. But I've got it secured here, here. It is rock solid in the front, here, 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 and push pin here, zip tie there. I'll probably put a bolt through there though, once I get this finalized. And then I just really need one more. If I had one more, like maybe here, because I mean, there's a little bit of, that's solid. There's just a tiny little bit of flap here. Honestly, I could really just cut that, but yeah, I actually could kind of cut that. But if I could keep it, it would be nice. It looks kind of clean like that. But if I could just secure it like here somehow, I don't know if the crash bar, I mean, that's one way I could do it, is put a bolt through the crash bar. But then it kind of pulls it down a little bit like that, which I don't really like, because I want it to be tucked up higher, so less chance of rubbing. Maybe like one up here. I don't know. I'll have to find some other spot to put it. There's not a lot of spots left though. Well, there's no going back now on the front. Just did a preliminary baseline cut. Follow the seam in the fender. So that's about how much extra clearance we're getting. Taking out the L bottom part and about 1.5 inches. Okay, so pleasant surprise, almost never happens, but the behind the plastic fender is not metal like on the rear fenders. It's actually fiberglass. So I was able to pretty much cut the plastic and the fiberglass. Good night, Rito. Stay right there for 1 second. At the exact same time, instead of having to do the metal separate, and it was a real pain. So this one was way easier. I just have to figure out how I'm gonna trim this up so it's not showing kind of wonky like that. And then figure out whether I'm gonna cut the bumper, how much I'm gonna do. We'll figure that out. There it is. There's the corner. I've had to sand this thing down 100 times. Now it's gone. I'm gonna clean this up, that up, and clean up this pinch here, clean up this pinch, maybe this pinch, and figure out what I'm gonna do with this piece of sheet metal, because ideally I'd come in a little more here. girl.
Hi.
This. Are you still recording?
Yeah, I'm still recording.
See this?
It had paused for a second.
It did?
Yeah. But it wasn't when you were recording, when you were doing anything.
Alright, so.
Oh, just when me and you were talking.
Okay. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this because I need to chop some of this off.
Mm-hmm.
So do I cut this thing out? Or what do I do? I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, I think we've pretty much finished the driver's side, except for a little cleanup, spray paint, touch up, and some trim. Start with the bumper here. I got my swamp fan here. I didn't want to necessarily trim it in line with the fender just because I'd rather have a little extra protection there if possible, but I did gut it. This thing came out to like here and down, and I chopped the whole thing, all this out. So hopefully that's enough. Might be something we have to, in the future, go ahead and just chop the whole thing right there. But this was a little tricky here because of the fiberglass guy. So it's about flush. I wish this was a little bit higher, but it is what it is. I went ahead and I've got the wheel well liner basically secured. This is just temporary, but it is, I just want to put one more bolt somewhere, maybe here to the crash bar or something, but it is, as you can see, zoom out a little bit, very secure. Maybe I could chop a little bit here, but I mean, that's not, if I rub there, I would chop it all off, but if I can keep as much wheel well liner as possible, I want to. Yeah, literally it's zip tied here, so I'll put a bolt there, I'll put a better push pin there. But it is solid, just as solid as it was stock. If I could put one more bolt over here or over here somehow, then I would. Let's see, I trimmed up the pinch weld a little bit. I chopped the nut that was on there, the bolt that was going through, chopped that off, trimmed this up a little bit more, trimmed this up a little bit. I'm still holding out on removing this just because it's a huge void, a huge open cavity that I just would rather keep mud out of if I can. So I'm gonna see if I can get away with, now that it was rubbing here and there, and hopefully I can get away with not having to remove this, but we'll find out. Trimmed a little bit here, a little bit there, trimmed a lot here actually. It's basically flush almost with the side here. You can see there's a tiny bit of poke from the right there, but that's really not an issue. The issue is always in this corner, so hopefully it's recessed enough in. And like I said, it's dirty, it's covered in white fiberglass, but this should give you a little bit of an idea of what it looks like. It's not perfect, obviously, but a little experimental project here in the driveway. And it doesn't look bad with, it almost lines up. Wouldn't be that much work to trim it a little bit more if I need to trim the bumper. But I want to see if we can get this to work without having to trim any more. If we have to trim a little more, then so be it, but I'd rather keep as much of the bumper as I can intact. All right, I just put a second coat, I should say, of bed liner spray on the tub here. Not everywhere, but you know, a lot of places. So got 5 more cans coming, but I think it's gonna turn out good with a little bed liner spray in there. So I should probably do this when it's less humid out, since it's like 99%, but it is what it is. Don't forget to get your exclusive FTR shirt before they're all gone. Only a few left, so get it while you can. All right, here's a look at the driver's side before I button it up and put some spray paint on it. You can see all that's already rusted from just the condensation at night. It didn't rain at all. So I'm gonna pull this zip tie and find a way to put a bolt in there. And then I'm gonna probably put one more hole somewhere over here just to secure this. Maybe somewhere, I don't know, somewhere. But this is what the driver's side looks like. And again, I haven't cleaned up anything yet, or weather strip or anything like that, spray painted, but just to give you a look. And I'm gonna trim up some of this some more. All right, I was able to use my Scotch tape method to Scotch tape a nut into your wrench, fire it up through the hole like this, and then put your ratchet over there, get it on and tighten it down, and there you go. And you can see the nut is, hopefully maybe you can see some light. There it is, nice and good. And it's a built-in flange washer with little grippies on it too, a little Loctite, good to go. So if I have to remove that for anything, it'll be kind of a pain, but sure as heck beats a zip tie. All right, there it is. The front driver fender well liner is done. Got a bolt here, got a push pin here, solid. It's got a little bit of flex here. If I want to, I could put another thing up here, but I don't think it should be too rigid, and it's already pretty dang rigid, man. It is solid. Bolt here through an existing hole back here. Bolt there, bolt there, bolt there. Those are existing holes in this thingamabob up here. Managed to reattach the rock light. And this thing is solid, man. Solid, solid, solid. It keeps all the mud from going straight into the engine, especially back there. So this side is done. I just need to go to the passenger side and start disassembling. One more thing I want to note, actually a couple more things. So obviously this is not perfect. I still have a hole here for where I can mount that lower guard. I'm just gonna play around with it like this. I'd like to cut as little as possible on the wheel well liner to keep the mud from going up. So I can definitely cut, you know, huge thing off of here if I want to, if I need to, if I'm rubbing here. That'll be like a 5-minute job. And then same thing here, I can cut, you know, a whole bunch of this to make it look cleaner, but I want to try and keep as much as possible to keep the mud and water off the wires and all that jazz. So and then also this still might be a source of issues. I'm going to paint this later, and then once we take it for a ride and see if it rubs, I'll have to possibly chop this panel thing out and grind that down another inch or something like that, like here, all the way down. And then last but not least is the front bodyguard bumper. I may end up having to chop like an inch off of this, or a ½ inch or something. Just kind of follow the fender line all the way down. We'll see. So unfortunately, I don't have enough room between my truck and the house to fully spread my awning, so I'm kind of sitting in this, but at least it's keeping some of the sun off me somehow. All right, so this is a look at the driver's side before I touch it. I have previously trimmed all this several times, but I'm gonna need to cut off this bolt here, fire that off, trim this back, trim this back, trim this back, trim this back, chop all this off, find another way to bolt this thing up, trim all the way along the ridge, and then probably trim up. Looks like I'm touching all the way to here. So goodness, man, I'm gonna have to trim. That's not gonna look good though. Maybe I'll have to trim the bumper off right here, right along the ridge here, to even it up, and remove this and then trim a ton of the wheel well liner. But this is what it looks like before I touch it. So I've got a reference point. I'm gonna need to find a way to bolt this up as well. Looks like there's a bolt there. There's only one here, which is not good. The other one had 3. This one's got some push pins, which I do not like. 4 of those, and that is, look how much I'm rubbing here. So I don't even want to use this part of the wheel well liner. Oh, not even, can't even see. I don't even want to use this part of the wheel well liner because I'm rubbing it. Look, I'm cracking it. So if I want to keep rubbing, then I'll keep the wheel well liner in, but I might have to just, for this one, man, it makes it harder every single time. I might have to just use just like this part. Something like that to keep the mud out of the engine, but stop the rub, because this, look how far down this thing comes. The metal fender's all the way up there. I need to get rid of all this. Oh boy, this side's gonna be way trickier. But I'm fully vested now, so I'm gonna have to find a way to make it work. All right, so I got the wheel well liner off for the driver's side. I have no earthly idea why this is here, but I guess this gets secured up into the body by a push pin or something that was not connected. And then you can use 4 push pins to connect to that. So that's going to be a major problem, since I don't want to reinstall that because it's spacing the wheel well liner down so much it's causing rubbing. So this is what it looks like without wheel well liner. Obviously this is a major source of problems if I want to avoid the pain, as they say.
Man, if I were you, I would change the tone. Avoid the pain.
Was that your feet?
Yes, it's the feet. The feet uppercut. Here comes the double foot.
So I'm gonna have to have some sort of wheel well liner here, at least here. If it's not there, not the end of the world, but at least here. Now I know this is not connected. This guy goes here. Once it's I get a new one, it's not working. This bracket's for the windshield washer reservoir relocation. This is all old insulation for the inner chiller project that was a disaster, resulted in an absolute nightmare. I still have no air conditioning. Definitely gonna want to seal that up with some tape and yeah, clean this up a little bit. But for now, I'm going to start with cutting the fenders, and then I'll figure out the wheel well liner issue afterwards. Hopefully I don't regret that. I've decided, since I have so much rubbing, especially on the passenger side front bumper, I'm just gonna chop this corner off and kind of go with the body lines there and see what that looks like. All right, so I have trimmed up the passenger side of the bodyguard front bumper to basically be flush with the new cut. Chopped off a little bit here, chopped off some in there. So some of this, some of this, some of that. So hopefully that will do it. And trimmed up this some. Zoom out a little bit. Trimmed up all the fiberglass to basically be flush with the body. Unfortunately, this thing got in the way, and so my cut is probably the worst one of the 4. Trimmed this guy up. I just gotta find a way to secure him, find a spot for a bolt. I did on the other side. Now I'm gonna start working on chopping this off, and some of this, and some of this, and then probably chop off the other side of the front bumper, because now that I've done this side, I might as well do that side to line up. All right, so I've decided, since I did the passenger side, I am going to cut the driver's side just like a 1/2 inch, just to be flush with the body lines there. Really not a ton, but maybe like a 1/2 inch. Actually, honestly, maybe not even. We'll see. Should be hopefully an easy cut, and should give us a little bit more clearance and be a little bit more even. Let's finish the bodyguard bumper trim just to kind of match up the fender liner a little bit. Fender, it's not perfect, but it's pretty close. It's pretty solid. So that gives us a little extra clearance there, and I just hit it with a shot of spray paint. So it might still be wet, but that is what the front is looking like. So we've got the bodyguard bumper trimmed on both sides to be flush with the fender roughly. We got the fender all trimmed up, fiberglass trimmed as best we can. It's not clean, obviously, but going to clean it up, spray it down. We've also trimmed up the, let me push this thing back in. We've also trimmed up this some more, try and give you a visual of how much pinch weld there is. There's almost nothing there, and there's obviously like nothing there. There's some up here, but it's very low profile. There's still a chance I might need to cut this thing out and trim this down some more, but I want to try and keep a little bit of structure. You can see there's still a little bit of structure there. Yeah, I could chop the nut thing off. That was like right in this corner here, right here. That thing's gone. Rounded this out a little bit, and then trim this up a little bit here. You can see where I stopped. I'm wondering if I need to trim any of this up, but I'm not going to do that right now. If I need to do that down the road, I will, but I've trimmed enough. It's been like 3 days now. plus all the other trimming I did. And then you can see I trimmed this here, 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 here. And then I chopped probably like, I don't know, 1 inch off the end. So I'm going to now move on to figuring out how I'm going to mount the wheel well liner up in here. So that is the last step before I can start doing the final touches. All right, so we're on the wheel liner portion of the fun. So what I did was I just cut off the outer lip that gets tucked into the non-existent fender now. You can see there's a couple pieces there. One that has all the bolts. And then now I've just put one push pin up there to hold it in place while I take a look. So I'd love to keep all that I can, but the problem is that I can see I'm scraping there. So that means that I really need to lose that portion of the fender. I almost think I need to just like move the rock light a little bit and just cut all the way down the thing. What will that leave up here? Let's see. It's kind of hard to do this. It's hard to do this, period, but it's definitely hard to do it one-handed. So, yeah, I'd like to keep a little bit in the front so I can maybe use that same bolt right here to put a bolt through. Let me put some. Let me put that one bolt wherever it is. I think it's up here, maybe. Yeah, right there. I'm gonna put that bolt in and then start taking a closer look here. I've added the 2 bolts with a larger fender washer there and there. Now, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with the rest of it. It looks like there is a hole here for what? There's something back there? Okay, push pin. Okay, so let me put a push pin in there and then see what it looks like. We got a temporary push pin pushed in there. So now I need to figure out where I'm gonna trim. So I think I could probably do, I don't know, like all this for sure. I definitely need to get rid of that. So let me maybe do like something like this down to there. And so if I lose all that, what will be behind there? No, that looks okay. And then maybe run it along here. Oh man, I don't know. Let me see. Let me pick up a piece of metal before it picks it up. Look how much that bumper I took off. All right. So, it definitely looks like I'm rubbing there. So maybe if I cut it, no, because then I couldn't secure it like that. Man, this one's tough. I think ideally, probably just run it right down here. And then there's a lot of engine bay that's going to be exposed though. I guess we can start smaller and go from there, but I can definitely tell I've scrubbed all this. So there's really no point in reinstalling it unless I want to continue rubbing, which I don't. So maybe I will have to do it like this. Look, I can see a rub there. So if I cut it here, it's going to be like right in line with this. Man, that's going to leave a lot of engine. All right, well, let's do it. Let's get it. So we chopped out this square and we chopped off some of this. And just like the other side, we've got a rectangle and a hole. So, and then a hole in the bottom. There. So I'm going to probably drill a hole through here for a bolt to go in there, snake it up with my little wrench with the Scotch tape up from the bottom, and that will secure this. Okay. Then I'm probably gonna cut, let's see. Yeah, I can keep cutting. We're gonna keep cutting and see what it looks like. This is the moment of truth. I'm gonna do a huge cut along the edge here and see what it looks like. All right, I just cut, obviously, huge section here. I don't think I cut too much, but there's not a lot of room left to, I'm pretty much maxed out here. I mean, I can cut this down, but I don't want to leave too much, take too much away. If I trim this, it'll kind of be a straight shot to the front, but I'm gonna have to since it's rubbing here. So if I trim that down to there, will it be secure? That is the $1 million question. Maybe I should trim a little bit more of this. And then this guy. Yeah. All right, so we've got a spot here for a bolt to go to secure the lower portion. Put a good push pin there. I just need something to secure it like up here, I think. Somewhere. Maybe I'll drill a hole in it and zip tie it to there or something as a last minute resort, but cut everywhere I've seen rub. And I've got a spot here for push pin. And we're still blocking most of the engine from debris. So I think we're in business. I think we just need to maybe clean up the edges here a little bit. It's kind of hard to get my cutoff wheel in here. But clean up the edges, find a way to secure it up here somewhere. Let's see, we'll, maybe what I'll do is I'll drill the hole here and see how, and put the push pin in here and see how floppy it is. But it looks like it's gonna be pretty good with those 2 bolts there. I wish there was a 3rd one up here, but I don't see anywhere to mount one. So yeah, and this is plastic, so we can't drill into that, unfortunately. Maybe we could put a little tiny bolt, like a baby bolt, like an M4 or something through that little tab. Just fire it right through, maybe? I don't know. Pro tip, this wire is exposed. It's wrapped up in some stuff, but still, if there's a chance of your tire coming up and rubbing it, you might want to add some corrugated and maybe check on it every so often. All right, so found my mounting spot, just enough material there. Right on that little tab to put an M5 bolt. So I'm gonna put a bolt there and somehow snake a nut around somehow. I don't know, maybe I'll glue it to the top. But I'm gonna put a bolt there and then we're gonna move on to the lower portion here. So I've got my hole through my liner. I'm gonna take my trusty wrench, come up from the bottom and snug it up. Snug is a bug in a rug. And now that this guy's supposed to go behind there, I'm gonna add a little corrugated and tuck him back behind there and know that at least he's not chafing behind the liner into the frame. All right, now I'm gonna tuck him in behind the fender liner here. A little bit, maybe. He doesn't wanna go now. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Cozy, happy. Now I'm secure here, I'm secure there, I'm secure up here, I'm secure here, I'm secure here, secure here. The only other thing to do is put a push pin over here and then we should be good. It is, my friends, we are fully secure and even more secure than stock. This is nice and snug here, 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 and here. Look at this. Moves a little bit right there. Otherwise, it's rock solid. Look at that. And it keeps a ton of the mud out of the engine. Yes. Look at my hands, dude. Oh my goodness. It has been a war. But we are there. Just gotta clean this now. Clean it all up, simple green it, spray it with some water, and then let it dry, and then hit it with some black bedliner spray, and then do the bedliner spray on the driver's side. And then I think we're basically done, except for the, what's it called? The trim, which was supposed to be here today, but of course it's delayed, thanks Amazon. And the only other thing I might do, and I don't know if I'm gonna do it yet, but I might put a bolt like how I did here. I'm gonna put like one here, one here, one here, and one here, something like that. I don't think I'm gonna do it now, but let's see how well this holds up on the highway and stuff. Since it's got a little bit of play there, I don't know. I mean, I'm just gonna be going through fiberglass, so maybe I shouldn't do that, but yeah, it seems pretty good. Got the front rock lights hooked up. Got that guy back up there, drilled a hole, put a grommet in for the connector, and that there's no way that the tire should ever touch that, unless there's a problem. The driver one is still hooked in the same spot as before, so should be good there. And I'm working on the back right now. I just drilled 2 holes in one of the piece of sheet metal right there. And I'm gonna hook up the rock light there, pair of M5s, and then probably do the same thing on the driver's side. Okay, got the back wheels on. Now I'm gonna pull the jack stand. Oh. Pull this jack stand. Oh. I'm gonna lower it down. Go over there.
Okay.
Nice and easy. Oh, that's not nice and easy. Okay. Pull this out.
What's that under there?
What?
Yeah.
That's the jack.
No.
It's a piece of plastic.
Oh.
Whoa, dude, look. Jan, look how much space there is between the wheel, the tire, and the fender. Huh?
That's a lot.
Isn't it?
Isn't it?
Oh my goodness, it almost looks like we need 42s.
But isn't there gonna be like wires hanging out?
42. What do you have your passy for? 42 is what I do. No. Look at that. Babe, look at the clearance. I'm gonna go to this side because I think there's more on this side because of the angle, the slope. Oh my goodness, dude. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Wow.
Oh, Daddy. Daddy.
What? Oh, there's a bow. Yes, a lizard. Oh, another one. You want me to get it? I gotta try and get him from up high. He's coming down to you. There he is. Get him. He's on this side. He's right there. He just went running. He went the wrong way, silly. He's over there. Why do you have a passy in your hand? Do you guys see this?
Yeah.
This is what all 3 days worth of hard work. What do you think?
It looks good.
Reagan, no.
Reagan, don't do that. It looks great, dude. Huh?
I want to see a side by side before and after.
Okay. All right, boys and girls. It's morning. We're about to head to Wild Adventures for Abby's birthday party. Excuse me. And this is the first look at the dyno with the trimmed fenders. Look at that.
Whoa.
You see it?
Whoa.
You see it?
Looks fresh.
You see it?
Whoa. Who is this?
Look at that.
Hi, Ray. Hold on. Wow.
Reed, where are you going? It does look like a new truck or a seriously lifted truck. What's going on with my cough? Reed, what do you think about the dyno truck?
Okay.
It's good?
Yes.
It's very good.
Look at these tires.
Oh my, look at those tires, Rito. Show us the tire.
They're big tires.
Big tires, huh?
Yes.
Look at how much travel there is now.
Yes.
All right, we're here at Wild Adventures, and I just want to get a shot of the dyno with the cut fenders. I'm a little off camber here, as some say, so I'll get a shot from the other side. Show you how much fender travel we have. Oh yeah. Looking good. Look at that. Get a thumbnail here. All right, this is post trim. This was stuffed and rubbing in the corners and over here and at the top. Look at that. Wow, there is so much more room with after the cutting. Oh my goodness. Look at all that.